So let's give him in absentia. Let's give him a hand. Shane. There are, and I know you can't see this. So let me just go through this real quick. This is our standard outage notice that goes out to a wide audience that includes executives, and they do keep track of these. They pay attention to when these come out. They read them very carefully. Everybody does, actually, not just the executives, but I point out that the audience is wide and varied, okay? And the reason why we're recognizing Shane is this is kind of a template. It's a sample that we want to socialize and make sure that everybody is able to see the components that we feel are right on that hit it, and incorporate some of these things into the way that we write outage emails. I know it may not seem like a really big deal, but when we're like right in the heat of the moment of an outage coming on the front end of one, our branches benefit from getting a heads up. Our business groups benefit. Everybody benefits from getting a heads up on what's going on with our systems. Okay, and then on the tail end, as we're concluding our troubleshooting and getting the system back up, it is also extremely helpful for our audience to know that, hey, yeah, this is now come to an end. We can communicate either internally or, more importantly, with our members what's going on. So let's go through a few of these components. So the system that was down, and this was Friday, right, Travis? So Friday we had back-to-back ITC outages. The first outage, Shane drafted this up and got it out. There were branches calling in. Kurt's team was taking a bunch of calls. We had a lot of people working this, and Shane sent this out. The description here, right, interactive teller client, it actually describes what ITC is, and it doesn't just say ITC, which is an acronym that we know. It actually spells it out, right? Used primarily by branches to process member checks. Also mentions that document scanner client is being impacted, and that's used primarily by branches to process bulk scanning, and then document processing client. So those are the three things that were impacted, and Shane spelled them out. In fact, we could probably just take this in future ITC outages. We hope that doesn't happen, but we know it will, right? And use this and just cut and paste that into a template. The description of what's happening. Users are getting an error message when launching any all the applications. We're working on troubleshooting the issue right now. Many of our branches are closed, but many are still open. So there's some percentage of branches that are being actively impacted by this. Who is it affecting? Any Mackin employee trying to process checks. Members using mobile deposit are not being affected at this time, as they use a different service to process checks. So this tells the audience, like our digital banking audience that's on this outage, that, hey, don't worry, this isn't impacting you, this is just impacting branches right now.
It also gives the frontline staff, the branches, alternatives.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So, and we'll go over that in just a second. When did it start? So it gives a time, and then the resolution, right? Alex couldn't be here, otherwise he'd be doing this, but he was the one who pointed out how well written this is and how informative it is. And he wants everybody to see a sample of what we consider like a very successful notice that goes out to the organization. Did you want to say anything about this?
Yeah, I want to kind of paint the context a little bit. This was, I don't know, what time was it? Like
It was like
6:30? So Landon's staff was entirely gone except Shane. So just get a vote. What's the first thing you're going to do when you're the guy who's supposed to fix the call or fix the problem? Your first reaction is to what?
Turn it off and on again.
Fix it. Who said fix it? Who thinks this fixes it the first thing to do?
It's not the first thing to do, but that's your first instinct.
You want to fix it. Your instinct is get it fixed. Well, it's a paradigm shift. My staff had to go through this shift to realize actually the first thing to do is tell people about this outage. So they know how to handle frontline members, they know how to handle phone calls that are coming in. And remember, he's the only person on his team. He took the time to articulate this out before actually pivoting to working on the problem. And that's the expectation. We want you to do that because notifying people it's out is more important than fixing it at the moment. more helpful.
Landon, did you wanna say anything about it?
I'm just impressed with all of my staff to be able to make that paradigm shift, because it's a bit of a change, but it's also very informative to get rid of the acronyms and be descriptive of kind of what's happening, so we can actually help our employees, help our members by giving them information.
Thank you, we've all been in enough meetings to know that what's like one of the number one topics that companies have the most difficulty pulling off? Like what is it usually? You guys have been in meetings where you've heard this. Documentation.
Fast response.
Yes, very close.
Communication.
Communication, right? I mean, I don't care where you are in the world, in what organization you're in, communication is always a challenge up there at the top. And this is a way to communicate better with everyone. And it might seem like a really small thing that we can forego in the name of resolving an issue immediately, like Travis mentioned, but this is the lifeblood of any corporation, the way that we communicate. And I think we're demonstrating to the credit union that we not only pay attention to the tech, but we also pay attention to business things like communication. So hat off to Shane for this very well written and informative outage.
Last one here is actually from us field